Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hey, what's up, everyone? I am back from San Diego Comic-Con. A little worse for the wear, but yeah. So some of the stuff I took notes about, I played before I left, so I may be a little rusty remembering it. But actually, today I just I hopped in and was going from Solitude to somewhere. I ended up at Liar's Retreat, which was a freaking awesome cave. Oh, love it. So you go in. And I'm sure most of you have been there. And you think it's just like this little bandit hall that kind of got run over by some Falmer. And right now my guy's like a level 40, but my archery's pretty high. It's closing in on 70, I believe. But I don't have any enchantments for the archery, so I just run what I have. So I'm using the Elven Bow, which is has 70 hit points to it, and 70 points of damage to it, and whatever arrows I have with glass, whatever ebony. I'm still looking for a freaking wood axe. I feel like I used to see wood axes everywhere, and now I can't find one. Now that I want to make some damn arrows, I don't know. I gotta find one because I want to make some arrows. That's my whole goal. I've never actually made arrows in the game, so I would like to do that because they're kind of expensive if you keep buying that shit. So anyway, I go into Liar's Retreat, and I can't one shot things at this point. I can one shot some things, but not everything. I'm carrying two bows. One has the soul trap on it, and the other has the fire, like 20 points of fire on it. So in this beginning part, I use the fire because I can't really one-shot things. I need to knock things. I can one-shot some of the Falmer, but not all of them. It depends on which ones. And I think there's like 6 in this beginning part. And you're pretty much exposed. I mean, they're right down there on the floor. And you can cut, what I ended up doing was I was able to pick off 1 or 2 of them, and I think then I just ran, and I picked off 2 of them that were not real hard, and I ended up sneaking into the back room after they were coming up to get me. I ran and then started sneaking and hid for a little bit and became hidden again. And then I was able to pick off some from behind, single shots, double shots, whatever it was. And got out of that part of it. And then when there's a side room, a side hallway that loops around the main area of that cave or bar or whatever the hell it is. And you hear a guy talking, and then I remember this part. I'm like, oh yeah, this fucker. Last time I opened this door, he beat the hell out of me. It took me a few tries to actually get through the front part, And then this dude took me twice because I forgot the first time when I opened the door. And when you open that door, a bunch of crap goes flying at him, and he knows you're there right away. So I ended up getting him. Actually, ended up battling him 4 or 5 different times because later on in Liar's Retreat, I got killed and forgot to save and had to go all the way back here. So anyway, I battled him a few times. Mostly I beat him with destruction magic. I would throw a rune at the door, then open the door, then he'd run out. Then I'd go hide, or I would or I would conjure a flame atronach and go hide, let him battle it once or twice, and then finish him off. I have a health absorbing sword, a glass sword. So that one's not too bad. It absorbs 16, 18 points of health. So yeah, I use that some too. So I was kind of trying to mixing it up a bit in here. Then there's a little side entrance to a cave, a typical Falmer cave. The glowing mushrooms, some frostbite spiders. So I went through there. I was able to pick them off actually pretty easily with the soul enchant bow and get some fill up some of my soul gems. Then you get towards the end. You get to this one part, and I hear this Falmer just doing something, and there's these two. I don't know if they're quite cages, but those Falmer cages where they keep the choros or whatever the fuck they're called, the choras. So he was standing outside one of them, and I was like, I kind of remembered this part. There was a couple bandits in there, so I picked those three off: the Falmer, the two bandits, and then in the final room was a Charis Hunter and a couple more Falmer. So yeah, I wasn't able to quite get them from afar, so I shot them a couple times and whipped out the sword and battled that way. And that's where I found the long hammer, which is I think you can swing faster. Is what when I looked it up, it swings faster as a two-handed hammer. So I don't really use two-handed very much, but maybe I'll use that since I got it in my possession. I'm starting to get up to the breaking point with weight, so I'm going to have to go offload somewhere again. Whoops, that was a really loud car driving by. Sorry about that. Anyway, got to go offload soon. After going through that cave, I got a bunch of stuff. Actually, I just offloaded a bunch of crap up at... I've been using the Archmage's quarters because, well, I'm the Archmage, and I don't have a house since I'm not doing... I don't know if I can get a house if I'm not doing Dragon Quest. Can I become Thane if I'm not... I think maybe I can. I'm not sure. It's a good question I'm asking myself. But, yeah, kind of before I went away, I did some other stuff. I did, what was the one? Oh, I did Pine Moon Cave, which was just a little, kind of like a vampire church. I did that. I did that one wasn't real tough. You go into the one church area. I think there's a vamp like standing up top on a walking path and down below in like the church pews, and then one up at the masters up at the vestibule or whatever the hell that thing's called there, giving a little speech, I guess is what's going on. So that one wasn't too bad. I was able to pick them off pretty easily. So I hit up the Highgate ruins up by Dawnstar, and that's where I ended up. You go in there, and Anska, I think her name is. She's like an adventurer. She's in the first room, and she's looking for a scroll. And at the end is Vokon, and you get one of the priest masks, and you get a shout in the way. So I have another shout that I'm not going to use, but yeah, a lot of Draugr in this one. You have to. Oh, this is the one I do like. The little puzzle where it's in the book where it's like it's one of those whale fox snake ones. There's 4 of them though, but it's the first one fears the second or something like that. The first one fears none, the second one fears all. I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, I do like that. I like, even though I basically remembered it, and it's relatively easy to figure out. I like that better than remember the pattern of the whale snake fox thing and then put it in. I like a little riddle. I wouldn't mind more of that. So, yeah, I hit there, and then I also trying to think. Lost Echo Cave, which was a big Falmer Chorus cave. Trying to remember the basics of this one. I'm kind of looking it up as I go along since it's been over a week since I played that part. Yeah. No, there's nothing really stand out about this one after looking it up. Oh, I did do did I talk about that last time? Or I did Deepwood Redoubt. That's what I did. That's the one I was trying to think of. Where you go into the redoubt and then you go into the big open area, the Deepwood Vale, which this is a Forsworn area. Oh, another great area. The Deepwood Vale I love because I tried when you first get into the Vale after you go through the come through like a cave entrance. It opens up real big and you can. I generally sneak around and try and pick the Forsworn off from as far as I can. sort of like little specks. They are, they see you from like everywhere. But anyway, I snuck off to the left, and there's a tower there, so I picked off the one there, and I was able to pick off a few more on the way. And then with the Briarheart, I kind of ran around a lot and battled them that way. But yeah, Deepwood Vale I really love. And then you head up into the Hag's End, and there's a couple hags in there and stuff like that. So I don't remember if there was a shout in there. Is there a word wall in Hag's End? I don't think so. I'm not sure. But there's that's the one where you go in, and the hag's in the first room. There's a couple witches at the table, and then as you harm the hag, it disappears and goes into the next room, and you kind of follow it along. That's that one where I think you have to. It's like 3 or 4 different times you have to battle it. You kind of hit it once, or when you do a certain amount of damage to it, that's when it moves on. Oh, and there is a word wall in there. So I have another one which I'm never going to use. Yeah, I've decided I'm probably not going to do the dragon storyline with this character. So because I'm already up to 40. I just was able to do the arcane smithing, and once you kind of get to that point, you can. And my enchantments are pretty good now. And now that I do have an archery enchant now, although I'm not sure if I'm going to use it because I don't know if I want to overpower, because overpowering kind of gets boring. You can kind of one-shot everything. That is fun, but it kind of it's not as it's fun and it's not fun. If you're just sneaking through one-shotting everything, it kind of gets old. So I like having to take my time and getting killed and having to redo things and rethink through things. So, which reminded me, actually, I was thinking about this, how I did play the game one other way, which was I never added any perks. I played up to like a level 55, and I would up like my magicka or up my health or up my stamina, but I never did any of the perks. So I just left the perks sitting there. So I had like 55 perks. And that was pretty fun. It kept lower powered for a longer amount of time. Like you would get more health, and you would be stronger, obviously. But like you wouldn't have any crazy like 170 damage bows or things like that. Like one shot a mammoth or one shot a dragon or whatever, anything like that. So that was pretty fun playing it that way. Obviously I played up to level 55, so I played a pretty long time with that guy. So I enjoyed that. So I think this one, I'm just going to ease back on the enchantments so I don't become too crazy overpowered. Maybe I'll concentrate on more like health and armor enchantments and, frost resistance, things like that, instead of boosting up my archery so it doesn't become too damn strong. So that's kind of where I'm sitting now. I did Volksgig or whatever it is, and I got the other Volksung mask. So I did that also. I believe that's a big Draugr area. And I hit up Rhymerock Barrow, which is just a small place where there's just a Conjurer and Atronach. So had a couple different places. Liar's Retreat was the freshest one in my mind since I just did that. And then Deepwood Redoubt, because I really like that one. I've done that one a bunch of times. That's one of my favorite areas, too, because the Forsworn are tough, and there's a bunch of them in there that you can pick off at distances. And the Briarheart's always a good fight if you're not like overpowered or anything. So I really dug that. And I think right now I just headed out to Cathwarson or whatever the hell it is. I just ended up there with the battle over the mine. And I got to convince one or the other to leave, either just the hired hand or the people who own the mine. So I'm going to keep... just going to keep wandering. I have a little bit more I can get before I get too heavy. So I'm going to get kind of maxed out or right before I max out. That way I can still fast travel and get rid of stuff. I tend to just go to Whiterun to get rid of everything. Except for, like, I'll build up a bunch of ingredients and I'll head up to the college and dump stuff there. I have a barrel. I keep it in by the thing up there. But I do my smithing in Whiterun. Actually, I do a lot of my enchanting there, too, because I just go up to Dragon's Reach and do it there since the, I can use the forge. And I don't know why. I always use the forge all the way at the beginning of town instead of using one of the companions and then just going over to Dragon's Reach. Ooh, just going over to Dragon's Reach? Sorry, I had a little burp there. But why don't I just use the one at the companions? It's right there. It's a lot faster. But you get 2 people you can buy from down the hill, so I guess that's why. Plus, you also have the archery store right there. And then I've been picking a lot of ingredients, but whenever I go into an alchemist or a potion store, I buy all the ingredients in order to work on my potions, because I find potions pretty handy. Until you become pretty powerful, they're handy, but then after a while, it's like, yeah, you don't need them anymore. Especially if you have start getting like the level 60, 70, then you don't need them at all, ever, really. And I tend to hoard them and carry them around for no good reason. So I've started dumping off like Magicka potions and stamina ones because I carry them, but I never use them. I use the health ones, obviously, because I tend to put more points in stamina and Magicka than I do health. And health I let lag behind. I guess because the way I play it, I let them lag behind. So, yeah. So I'll probably start working on some a little more magic. Since my archer is pretty good now, or maybe some one-handed. I've been kind of mixing in some one-handed. So maybe I'll do some sneak attacks, because you can sneak the Falmer pretty good. I would like to get up. I need to get into Blackreach. I love Blackreach. God, I need to get into there and then sneak up and start snaking some Falmer. That'll be a good time. Yeah, so I'm really liking how I play this one. Next one, I really got to change it up though, because I always rely on the damn archery. I got to change it up. Maybe I'll go like orc and go 2-handed, because I've never really done that and just like full out hardcore armor, just go blasting through dungeons, killing. I've never really played that way. So maybe I'll try that. I have done some kind of one of the Magicka ways. Gone as I've never played as an elf, but I did go my last character, the Khajiit, and I started out using magic for like the first 40 levels pretty heavily. So I've kind of gone that route, but I've never really gone the 2-handed, tank route. So maybe that's where I go on the next one. I'm not sure what level I'm going to play this character to. I'm not bored with it yet. I'm enjoying it just because I'm not overpowering it as I level up. So things are still a challenge. So that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. What else was it? Oh, did have some more email this week, and I appreciate that. Sorry for clearing my throat so much. Congested. I believe it's probably from being a Comic-Con. Because that's where you get sick. So Josh says, has been interesting to hear about your approach to the game and how you're handling various quests. I started a new character this week, a Breton magic user. Trivian, the mediocre. That's another thing. I got to come up with... I never use the backstory kind of thing. I need to start doing that. That seems fun. It would probably keep me from doing the same thing over and over. I'm following your lead and avoiding the main quest line. I agree that it's neat to wander around without the threat of dragons. Yeah, I continue to enjoy that because I find the dragons, after a while, I just found them tedious. It's a great quest, but I find them tedious in the normal game when I want to just go do some stuff. All right, I did a few quests at Whiterun to raise some gold and buy some spells and pay for a wagon to take me to Winterhold and the Mage College. I do have a follower, Uthgerd that guy, the Unbroken from Whiterun. Speaking of that, I lost my follower somewhere. I believe we were battling Spriggans, and she's gone. Ilya from Darklight Tower, is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't know where the hell she went. And she had a bunch of crap on her. I had her carrying for me, so I was kind of pissed. Okay. I do have a follower, Uthgerd the Unbroken from Whiterun, and I'm focusing on destruction and conjuration magic so far, but I'm only level 4. The game is a far cry more interesting if you have a character concept in mind, I've found. But it is far more difficult to play a mage than a martial character. Definitely agree with that. I'm getting clobbered, but once I level my magic a little more, I should be set. I'm going to try and finish the Mage's College quests before I move on to something else, but Skyrim gives me attention deficit disorder. I'm always curious what's over the next hill or cave I just found. Yeah, definitely. That's my problem. I start these quests, and then I move on to something else and something else and something else. And when the game originally came out, there was so many glitched quests. I would end up with like 10 quests I couldn't finish or some crap like that. But, yeah, that's the thing. You start something, you go wander, and oops, I ended up in this cave that's way bigger than like Liar's Retreat. Also, he mentioned, Josh mentioned friends of his are doing a podcast about, I believe it was not Pulp Fiction, but Pulp Fiction's different. They may have been called Pulp Fiction, but Weird Fiction podcast called The Cromcast, Cromcast. I listened to the first episode. I really enjoyed it. They talked a lot about Robert E. Howard's Conan the Cimmerian. Sorry, Conan the Cimmerian short stories. And even though I haven't really read those, having obviously a vague knowledge of the Conan story and stuff, I thought they did a great job. Just keeping me completely interested. I've always been like a talk radio junkie since a kid. So listening to podcasts is the same kind of thing. And if you do a good job, no matter what you're talking about, if you enjoy it and you can put it across well, I'm down with that. So check out the Cromcast. It's at thecromcast.blogspot.com. So, and also had a quick email from Flop Mopsy, who I believe has a YouTube channel. So check that out. And I appreciated that. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I'm dragging a bit, but hopefully I'll get some more playing in the next week. And it'll be closer to the time when I actually record. And my brain isn't fried from being away for a week. But, yeah, I'm going to keep going with my Argonian. I do love that I can swim incredibly long distances and not have to worry about drowning. I do like that a lot. It's a good feature. So I'm going to... Who knows if I'll get to another quest or if I'll just keep hopping through stuff like I ended up doing this time. But so far I've done the mages and the Forsworn, so that's not too bad. I got the thieves sitting there. They're waiting for me to come steal the ring. Or, I'm sorry, come pickpocket the ring and put it in somebody's pocket. So, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the thieves one with this character. I don't know why. The last one I had I don't know, maybe because it was a Khajiit. I don't know. Everybody always calls him sneaky. So, I'm not feeling it with the Argonian. So maybe I'll go a different way. Maybe I'll hit up the companions. They have some decent quests. I'm definitely going to cure myself. I was a werewolf last time. I was a Khajiit werewolf. But I never really used it. I don't know why. It just didn't do anything for me. And I know I've been talking about doing the Dawn Guard ones because I want to see if the dragons show up at the lake. So maybe I could do that because that would be fun as shit. Plus, Battle on Vampires is fun. So, although I do have to deal with what's her name as companion, who always runs in front of you, which is better than Ilya being behind you and killing you constantly. But hey, so we'll see where I'm off to next time. I'm sure I'll get sidetracked somewhere along the way. And if I go into Dragon's Reach and talk to the mage in there, and he tells me to go get the Dragon Stone one more time, I think I'm going to shoot him. I know. I didn't start it yet. Relax, dude. I just want to buy some stuff and freaking use your enchanting table, okay? You don't have to tell me to hurry up because the Jarl wants me to go every single time I walk in this door. I just want to buy some stuff. That's all. Sell some stuff, buy some stuff. Get some soul gems, give you some soul, and give you some staffs that I'll never use. That's all I want, all right? Alrighty, you can reach me at a Skyrim podcast. I'm sorry, that is not the email address. Skyrim Addict podcast at gmail.com. You can send a text or voice memo type thing there. You can send it as a voice memo, MP3, traditional email, whatever you like there. All right, everyone, take it easy.